How do you perceive Valve? Most of you would probably think of Valve as a multi-billionaire company with 300 employees that has made iconic games such as these shown on the screen right now. But what if I told you that Valve switched their policy for one single game? This is the time Valve became EA for one single game. That one game is none other than Artifact. Artifact was firstly teased in 2017 at TI7, a Dota esports event. While it looked promising, there were some people criticizing the decision of even making Artifact, with the reason being the abandonment of other franchises such as Half-Life. On March 9, 2018, Gabe Newell has released a statement regarding Artifact. He stated that Artifact will not be free to play unlike Dota 2 and that Richard Garfield will be the lead designer for Artifact. Richard Garfield is the guy who made Magic the Gathering, a very popular game and probably the first collectible card game ever made, so saying that people weren't excited for this is a complete and utter lie. Let's return to the monetization aspect of Artifact. When Artifact was released, the game costed $20, the most expensive Valve game ever besides Half-Life Alyx, which was released a year and a half later. Now the difference between Alyx and Artifact is that one of them is a $50 VR game with beautiful graphics and engaging puzzles, and one was a $20 card game that's also pay to win. Another thing that I've got to mention is that Artifact wasn't even meant to be a Dota spin-off. They just thought of it because it was more convenient. This is something you don't really like to hear if you're a CCB fan or even a Valve fan. November 28, 2018. The big day. The date when Artifact got released for everyone. And it sort of worked. People have praised the mechanics, but everyone noticed one problem. An Artifact match was pretty much decided by the guy who paid the most. Just to put it into perspective again, the base game at the time was $20. A card pack was $2. You could also buy and sell some cards on the Steam marketplace. This was an insane amount of money for a card game. And in just 2 months, Artifact went from 60,000 concurrent players to 1,700. In July 2019, the game had 100 concurrent players. On March 20th, 2020, Gabe Newell has released a statement saying that Artifact has been a huge disappointment and that they will try to fix Artifact and that the reboot is so large that it will be called Artifact 2.0. Not so coincidentally, Richard Garfield and a few others have been laid off by Valve around the same period. Sadly, or rather happily, in 2021 Valve has stopped development for Artifact 2.0 due to lack of excitement for the project. As a last goodbye gift, they've released this so-called Artifact 2.0 as Artifact Foundry for free, and they've also made the original Artifact game free to play, ultimately naming it Artifact Classic. Artifact Foundry has got no card packs and is completely free. In June 2024, the game has reached 34 concurrent players. To put it into perspective, Counter-Strike Condition Zero, a game that serves as a CS 1.6 campaign for most players, has reached 300 concurrent players. Oh, you think this is not a good comparison? Well, how about Team Fortress Classic? This game is basically ancient. There is no way this game has got more active players than Artifact during the month of June. Right? Right? This is an Artifact moment. Now you're probably thinking, well, they're probably playing Artifact Foundry, duh. About that. Did Artifact deserve to die? Well, yes, in a way. Technically, no one asked for it, and it was obvious that Valve wanted to make this game as a response to the rising popularity of card games at the time. Despite Artifact being the worst Valve game ever, besides Half-Life Source, this was still a good lesson for Valve. Never rely on a world-renowned lead designer and a successful franchise to make a great game. I'm glad that they stopped developing Artifact. I think it's better for them to focus on their current top titles and actual good future projects instead of Artifact. Artifact players, I hope you ain't going to take this personally. I've also said this because I hate the CCB genre, and it's probably one of my least favorite genres of all time. If you like this video, consider subscribing, and as always, I will see you in another video.